Why is good governance so elusive in Africa? Why is it that the problems that African states face today largely are attributed to poor governance? Is it because Africans lack the ability to manage? I don't think so. God has packaged in all of us the ability to think clearly, to make decisions. But I tend to think we are largely suffering both economically and socio-economically, so to speak, because of perpetual problems that we are facing regarding our leadership. And when I say that, I want to talk about, do we have genuine leadership in many African countries? Do we have leadership that actually got into the office for purposes of being a liberator, of helping their country come out of a certain space, to come out of a certain space, way of doing things? Do we have leadership that actually gets into office whose motivation is the people? I think that is where our problems in many African countries begin. So then, when we look at the people that many times we elect into office, you'll agree with me that majority of these people are driven there by selfish interest. And that means then this person cannot serve the interest of the people because their purpose for going into office was not helping the people. So let's agree that it is a problem that we have created ourselves. It's a problem that we continue to recycle each and every 5 years based on your election cycle as a country. And in my country, we even have seen a formation of a political class, a political college or constituents of people who feel that they have paid the goodwill to occupy the space of political office and influence. As long as this remains to be the state of affairs in this country, as long as this remains to be the state of affairs in many African countries, then development and services and appreciation of basic human rights and needs in terms of the government providing, then will continue to be elusive. Why? Because many of the political seats that many people are elected to, they go there not with the leadership aspect, but with the boss, with the lord mentality. And we have seen it in my country, for example. Why is it that even politicians today, and if you are one, ask yourself, why do you need bodyguards? Why weren't you walking around with bodyguards when you were seeking political office? But you become an enemy of the people immediately you get to office. I heard somebody saying the other day that as soon as a certain person went into office, they no longer answer their calls. And I told them, these are the kind of people that we were actually going around campaigning for just less than 6 months ago. So it should not be difficult for us to understand that we've made African leadership to be a place of creating wealth for selfish individuals. That's why it's only in Africa where the richest people are politicians. They go there because they want to safeguard their businesses. They go there because they want to safeguard their personal interests. They go there because they want to enjoy tax reliefs and to enjoy for their companies to enjoy immunity in terms of the taxes they pay and the obligations that they have to the country and to the common aspect of being able to serve the nation and to better the lives of the citizens. But then, as long as we continue doing this, as long as you and I continue putting the same people back in office, putting people who do not have the capability to run an office into office, then you continue to actually mortgage the future of our children, the future of our nation, to people who have absolutely no goodwill. And therefore, that means that the problem that you are having today with the high cost of living, your children and your children's children will find it even worse, because somebody is doing something that this country cannot afford. We are taking up debt left, right, and center, which means in the next few years, in all the money and the wealth that the country produces will definitely have to go back and be used into the payments of debts through loans that were taken up. So it's up to me and you to ask ourselves, what kind of leadership do we want to see? And can I challenge you that even in the next election, even as the place where you work, in the estate where you live, can we have these discussions around what kind of a nation do we want to build? What kind of an economy do we want to build? What kind of societies, what type of communities do we want to build? Because that starts with you and me. And as long as we remain quiet about the kind of leadership that we are building, then we all become victims of bad leadership. And in no time, then we find ourselves not being able to avoid the conversations around a failed state. Hope we do not get there. Hope this video challenges you to think about your future and how and why it's important for you to engage in leadership. More so the church. The church must stop this preoccupation with heaven. It is good, but we must also realize that we live our lives on earth. So as long as we, as much as we are taking care of our religious lives and our religious man, it's important that the church comes to the front line of good leadership, because that's the only way then that even the church itself will thrive, and we'll have a whole community and society and a country that is able to respect the rule of law. It's able to have proper leadership, and we will then put into office, into leadership, leaders who have the interest of developing this country to the next level. Thank you very much.